Hey guys, Steven here. Fanatic perspective. Cowboys lose to the Washington football team, a lot to a little. We're not a competitive football team. We fought at 2-5. I think the Eagles are now in first place. I don't even really care about the NFC least at this point. I really don't. For the simple fact that it's fool's gold for a lot of the teams in the chase, us included. And this team has no pulse. We have no heartbeat since Dak Prescott was injured against the New York Giants. And what you're seeing now, because it felt like since the Cardinals game, it felt like it was 2 weeks, even though we played on Monday night, couldn't believe like the time that's elapsed, what it feels like. And then coming into this game today, I have a weekly pool with a couple of my cousins, and I picked the Washington football team in this game. I didn't even pick the Cowboys. I normally always find some reason throughout the week, even if it's even last year against the Patriots. Like I still pick I'm always picking it, even when it makes no sense. And this week I was just like, with the offensive line, because there's certain pockets of this team, some justified with the injuries and some not. But when you look at the offensive line and you look at Washington's defensive line with Jonathan Allen and Chase Young and Ryan Kerrigan and Hand, all these guys, or Duran, sorry, not Hand, Duran Payne, all these guys, like we have no change. Montez Sweat, like how are we blocking all these people? That's the strength of their football team, in my opinion. How are we blocking all these people with Terrence Steele in there and Connor McGovern learning how to play football and Tyler Biadasz learning how to play football? And I see why Cam Irving was beat out by Terrence Steele on the other side. Like you have all these folks in the game. Like, what are we even doing here with a backup quarterback? So there's that coming into the game with the offense. So them scoring 3 points today, the 3 points they got was actually literally 100% special teams because Tony Pollard had the big kick return, and then we kicked the field goal. We didn't go anywhere with it, went 3 and out. So the 3 points we did score was really the third phase, which is special teams. But this defense, and I believe the leaks this week came from the defensive side of the ball. I believe that the drama on this team is from the defensive side of the ball, because the reality is with the offense, they just got to get healthy for 2021 with the line, the quarterback, everything else. If that's the plan they want to go down, this offense can be very good. I believe that with a lot of the pressure and some of the new changes with Mike McCarthy, the only hiccup they've had is the turnovers when Dak was in there and sometimes just getting a little stalled there. But with everything being normal and assuming normal in 2021 and people are healthy, the offense will be fine. This defense, though, you have a lot of bad football players on that side of the ball. You have a lot of people with no heart. When Antonio Gibson is just another player this week that has a career day or season high against this defense in the run game, because they're soft in the middle. They don't understand how to plug holes. They have no gap integrity. They have no outside contain. They fall for the cheese with any and everything. They also give up everything on play action or bootleg. So their eyes are bad. Their physicality is bad. We got beat on a deep ball day. I don't know what Baby Diggs was looking at. He's talking to Scary Terry, and then he gets roasted. The brother said, some of them say the right things after the game. Baby Diggs said that he's going to, he got caught looking, and he'll bounce back on Thanksgiving when we play him again. I mean, and DeMarcus Lawrence and all these guys, we're still together. We're still united. We got to fight. And that's why I'm like the talk of the Fitzpatrick stuff of, oh, let's get another quarterback in here and all this type of stuff. For what? For what? This defense is worse than the Monty Kiffin defense. This is one of the worst defenses in NFL history. The only reason, like them giving up 25 points today, is because Washington got ahead so fast and up by so much, they could just run the clock out, number one. Number two, they had like the last ranked offense coming into the game. I think maybe the Jets are probably worse, but by some of the metrics and the numbers going from Haskins to Kyle Allen, Washington was way down in every offensive metric. I don't even think they had a running back over 60 yards rushing until today when Antonio Gibson goes off. So them getting 25 points is like somebody else dropping 40 plus against us, honestly. And again, the game flow, Washington just needed to not do anything stupid and keep moving chains and run the clock out because we were never a threat. And that's the difference with Dak Prescott not being here. Dak Prescott makes you competitive, and he was covering up so much on and off the field. He was their heart. And then on the field, he's a freaking, wonderful quarterback who covers up so much deficiencies with the line when we're inconsistent running the football and Zeke's on his BS, helping get wide receivers ramped up. We always talk about the weapons that Dak had, but he never got credit for ramping up Michael Gallup or Cedric Wilson or even why CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's a stud, but having that rapport with him, because now you're seeing CeeDee Lamb struggle a little bit with Andy Dalton and some of the other guys. And, DiNucci comes in, and God bless DiNucci. God bless Andy Dalton, who was viciously taken out by that scumbag John Bostic. And, I anticipate Bostic being suspended, and it was good to see Ron Rivera apologize on behalf of their organization for the cheap shot on Andy Dalton. There's no place for that in the game. But when my point is with the quarterback play, the drop off there, as a backup or lower level starter, you need more help. And people wanted to paint this narrative about Dak about, well, everything needs to be perfect for him to win. Look, he was averaging 32 points. Now it looks like a miracle that he was even averaging that amount of points per game, or how they were proficient moving the football. And you're seeing the drop, like they look lifeless. Like did Michael Gallup catch a pass today? I don't think Michael Gallup caught a pass today. No. Michael Gallup had 2 targets, no catches. By the way, we had 114 yards passing between Nooch and Andy Dalton, but we gave up 6 sacks for 55 yards. So we finished with 59 yards total passing when you factor in the sack yardage. And we had about 83 yards on the ground. It's night and day statistically. So that's going in. Going back to the defense, they've drained this team of any hope or energy, though, because they can never be in any bad position. They've almost given up as many touchdowns as punts as they've forced on the season. It's embarrassing. And you have people over that they're not dealing with the same type of injuries. I know Cheeto is not there, but overall as a group, they're just bad. This organization, and this is also stemming from the front office and the Jones family. And this echoes what I said last Monday night with the Cardinals blowout. But this is what I expect to see the rest of the season, because people talking about let's trade for Fitzpatrick or trade for a quarterback. You do something like that if you have a good defense. Like if you were like the Steelers last year, where your defense is playing better, you have a little bit of a run game and some weapons, and if we just get a little bit better quarterback play, we can win this division, have a chance in playoffs. That's not where we're at. Like, you take Dak away, Dak was probably going to lead us to 7 or 8 wins this year. You take Dak away, since he's been gone, we're the worst team in pro football. That's what we look like right now. Now, if Andy Dalton's able to come back, I don't even know what his status is going to be. They'll probably have to activate Garrett Gilbert, which is crazy that I'm saying that in 2020 as a Texas fan. Like, are we headed for 2-14? And now we're having conversations about the direction of the franchise picking at the top of the draft. Like, that's what this content's about to be, guys, in the next few weeks, I foresee, because they've paid Jalen Smith. They've paid DeMarcus Lawrence. They've paid so many guys on this defense, and they're terrible. They're terrible. They paid Dontari Poe and Tyrone Crawford. So I mean, everybody's like, well, let's see if Randy Gregory comes back, and I don't see Alden Smith flashing as much anymore. I mean, guys are just lifeless out there. I saw Neville Gallimore make a few plays, I guess. That's your defense. Like they just need to there's Jalen has regressed. LVE regressed. Like they don't even look like the same dudes from 2018. Where are those linebackers that were flying around in tandem with the hot boys up front? Like where are these guys? Because one of the plays that was telling was, I think it was Logan Thomas on the sideline. Or there was two, because there was one where he stepped through Jalen and scored. I think that was Logan Thomas that did that. He stepped through Jalen Smith and scored, and LV is running over there late as usual. And Jalen's missing tackles and just doing everything but being a good football player as usual at this point. And there was another play where LVE's on the sideline, and it's just also they're not smart football players. And I hate saying that about people, but it's the truth. LVE's on the sideline. He's in a position where he can either shove Logan Thomas out of bounds or push him, walk him out, grab him, and he instead like ankles down and compromises his neck and like makes this awkward tackle on the sideline and hurts himself. Now, fortunately, he came back in, but like, where's your awareness or IQ to say, you know what, I cannot put my head neck area. I'm on the sideline. Sideline is your friend. It's the 12th defender. Let me just go ahead and leverage that. Cool. We live to fight another play. But we don't even like. There's no thought. There's no conscious thought, and so. I mean, but again, it boils down from the front office as well, because they're the ones that put this team together. They're the ones that put this coaching staff together. We can talk about Mike Nolan's not going to be here. I don't even care whether is it his fault. Sure. Is it Mike Nolan's fault that DeMarcus Lawrence and other guys are jumping on a 4th and 1 hard count? Fine. Blame the coach for that, whatever. Or that they fill gaps and they can let Kenyon Drake get off and they want to let Antonio Gibson get off. And I see all these people at the line of scrimmage. Sure. Blame the coaches. But regardless of who's here or not, this front office is still responsible for the tenor of the team, how they've put it together, what type of they are the ones that decide that they don't care about having a safety on the team or taking the nose tackle position seriously. And no, Dontari Poe signing him is not taking it seriously. Like, they're the ones that decide that they wanted to pay Tank Lawrence, but they didn't want to pay Byron Jones. And here we are. We have no playmakers. We're soft. We have low football IQ. We don't have any heart. We don't have any pride. We're not professional. We have snitches on the team. Like, this is your 2020 Dallas Cowboys. So it's all bad. It's all doom and gloom. The only thing you can, and for those of you hoping for the draft or that we do bad and we get a high draft pick, whether they go down and say, you know what, let's get Trevor Lawrence and save the money of paying Dak and let Dak walk and we start over at quarterback. Okay, cool. Trevor Lawrence is going to come here and still deal with this nonsense in this organization. I don't know how that helps you. Okay, cool. You pay Dak and we draft another player who's evaluating all this. I don't know how that helps you. Like, yeah, I mean, my point is they've put themselves where there's not really there's not a fix that makes you better quickly because of how they've built their structure of the organization. So now you're in a spot because I don't trust them. And the reason why I don't trust them is because they got very good quarterback play for 4 years with Dak Prescott not having to pay him. And for all the people that are saying, oh, if we pay Dak now, How are we going to be able to build the roster? Well, for 4 years you had Dak and you didn't. What do you have to show for it? Look at the people I highlighted that did get paid. You guys, like, 4 years goes by, you decide to pay the running back $90 million, and now he's struggling. I'm not saying it's all, but he's a running back. And once the team falls apart, he can't do anything. Zeke's only going to be as effective as the blocking you provide him. Now that there's no blocking, Zeke is useless to you. Useless. So this team y'all put together, you paid Amari Cooper. Great. Can't do anything. Michael Gallup didn't catch the ball today. He hasn't gotten paid yet. We drafted CeeDee Lamb in the first round. CeeDee Lamb didn't have a catch today. He had 1 rush for 1 yard. So these bona fide studs, you had 2 of them that didn't record a catch. And at one point, they were on pace collectively, all of them for 1,000-yard seasons. So what did you do when you didn't have to pay the quarterback? And like, that's why I'm like, you need to get a GM in there. And this won't happen because the Jones family wants to be the GM, but like the cap manipulation, because I don't believe in the whole salary cap restrictions, because there are some teams that just know how to always manipulate the cap, pay people, pay whoever they need to pay, and they always just find people, make the proper evaluations, draft well, i.e. Kansas City, i.e. San Francisco. Look what San Francisco is doing. They have half their freaking team right now. Look at Kansas City. Doesn't matter, like Byron Pringle, Demarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman. Look at these people. It's not like they're out here just with a stacked roster where they drafted high all over the place. They put it together through proper scouting. They made great evaluations, late round picks where they were hitting, and then they put people in the proper system. Cowboys aren't good at any of that. The Cowboys hit on some picks, yeah. They're not terrible at drafting. I'm not going to go there. But the Cowboys don't – we don't have a real system to put people in defensively. And B, when you ignore like the Cowboys don't even believe in safeties. They think they can get by with whoever back there. So that's a philosophical thing that they have to overcome. So yeah, they can pick at the top of the draft. You can get Trevor Lawrence in here and try to go in that direction. You can go and get the creme de la creme of a defensive player, Micah Parsons or somebody like that. Cool. And we're going to be like in the same boat where, oh, we got this guy in here now and we're still coming up short because we don't want to, like, it's still not addressing the whole roster and the tenor of what your football team is and having that toughness. And even, going outside this family business mindset. That's another thing I've talked about. Like, hire people that make you uncomfortable. I know they don't want to do that, and they want to make all comfort hires and people they've worked with before, or, this person's connected to this person, and that's how they build their staff. Well, this is where it's gotten you guys, with your players, with your roster, with the whole organization. And the moment you don't have one of the biggest Band-Aids in the league, and number 4, Dak Prescott, you get exposed. The Band-Aid came off because he's been holding this thing together for I don't know how long, not getting proper due, not getting paid. And this is what we have to show for it. So congrats. It's your 2020 Dallas Cowboys. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles for another NFC Least showdown. Y'all let me know in the comments. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm not mad. I mean, this is just where we are as Cowboys fans, but at least we can talk about it together and bitch about our team. So appreciate it. Peace.